Right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming to our first stakeholder meeting for the year. At the beginning of the year, we had a session specifically to introduce our program for the year 2023. Very exciting program for tuition and other programs that we normally offer. Now, the question is, what is the need for this particular meeting? The need is that a lot has changed since we began the year. So many changes in terms of our tuition program and other programs that we normally offer. And the need is to make sure that every student or every potential student or alumni is made to understand various updates that we have actually done to our various programs. And that is the reason why we are actually having to have a stakeholder meeting. So the aim of this meeting is to run you through our programs that we are running so far, the various changes thereof, and also inform you of some of our new technology that we are improvising or trying to improve on to help make learning effective. So I'll basically request my team to help me run this session effectively. I'll request that they move me to the first thing, which is about our timelines. We have actually published a timelines to get students to help appreciate all the things that we are going to do for the year, specifically for the ICA program. So for the ICAG program, we have actually put together a timeline to guide everyone to appreciate the various changes we have for the year. Now we have a 3-diet system, as has always been since last year, but there's a change in the date of writing exam. For ICA program, we no more write exam in March, neither do we write in April. Now, exams are in March. Are we clear? In the past, exams was in May. Previously, it was in April. Now, exams is in March, which has reduced the time available for training of students to prepare for the exam. So on the basis of that, we need to also do some quick arrangement to ensure that students are adequately prepared to write the exam. So based on that, we are going to do what we call a concurrent run of 2 diets at the same time. As we speak now, we are almost in the process of completing of our process for the March diet. We are about to start our revision programs for March, but as we speak now, we are in the process of beginning lectures for the next diet, which is the exam which will be held in the month of July, first week in July. That exam will be taken off. So we are actually preparing ourselves to roll out tuition for that. From next week, we should be starting that tuition. So we have a lot of students already registering for the next diet, and we should roll out the program immediately to help them prepare for the July exam. The question is, why this urgent need to start the next tuition now? The need is because a lot of time is needed to prepare students, and we want to introduce what we call the Immersion program. And this Immersion program is aimed at helping students to do some kind of advanced preparation before the start of the diet. So the advanced preparation program or the Immersion program for the July diet is going to start from 23rd of February, which is already in session. And by next week, Monday, that's 26th, we should be rolling out our first program in terms of tuition. So yes, July diet has started specifically, and we are beginning with tuition almost immediately, more like an advanced preparation towards the next diet. Are we clear? So that is what we are doing now. So that tuition or the Immersion program will end on the 16th of April. And once that is ended, we immediately roll out the main tuition. And the expectation is that result of the March exams should have been ready by then so that students can be able to comfortably join the main tuition program. So when the main tuition program begins on 17th of April for the July diet, we shall merge the 2 students, those who have registered for the advanced preparation and those who want to join the main tuition program to cover the syllabus. Those 2 will be put together to run a full tuition, which will be ending on the 17th of June. So we are going to run a parallel session. The advanced students who have joined the Immersion program will be combined with those who joined the main tuition program to run a session to the end of June so that exams in July, they can be ready to write the exam. So basically, that is the program we have. So we have the Immersion program running concurrently, exactly, with our main tuition for March now. So by the time we get to 16th of April, Immersion is over, main tuition for July will begin, and we match the 2 batch of students to roll out our programs. Are we clear? So that is the position we have for the July diet. And the same will happen for November. Whilst we are about to finish the July diet, November diet will be rolled out concurrently. And when we are about to finish the November diet, the March 2024 diet will also run concurrently. So that the aim of that is to ensure that we have enough time for preparation. Students can have opportunity to register early in advance for the next diet. As the current diet is currently running, you have an opportunity to register for the next diet and prepare along whilst the main tuition starts normally a month and a half after the start of the immersion. So that is the arrangement we have when it comes to our timeline. So I'm encouraging everyone to take advantage of it, especially those who have deferred the writing of the exam to the July diet. It is time to take advantage of this program. And the immersion comes at no extra fee. You join the immersion, you join the main tuition at the same cost. No difference in price, is the same price. So what it means is that whatever you are paying for is a payment for the main tuition. But once you are paying in advance, we are giving you the opportunity to join that immersion program whilst waiting for the main tuition to be conducted. So there's no fee for the immersion. You register for the main tuition, you get the immersion before the main tuition is started. So that is the strategy we have adopted. So before the main tuition starts on 17th of April for the July diet, you have the opportunity to be participating in lectures weekly, and it will be weekdays lectures, preparing you towards the main tuition. So by the time we get to the main tuition, you have understood some basic issues, to prepare you, for a good immersion into the new tuition for the next diet. Are we clear? So that is the option we have for students who wants to register early in advance before the start of the diet. You have access to the recorded videos of all previous systems, preparing yourself for the beginning of the main tuition program. So that is it. So I think with this, we can move on. So Mike, if we can move on to the next thing, I think it should be our innovative program. So these are the programs we have. We have the innovative program in terms of the immersion program, which we have rolled out. We have the main tuition program. We have the modular program and the intervention. All these are all program packages that help you to be able to prepare yourself towards the final exam for every diet. And this particular arrangement is there for both the ICAG tuition as well as the CIT tuition. So for those who are preparing to write the CIT now, we will be doing what we call an immersion program for you. We'll prepare you in advance before the rollout of the tuition. So before the end of the month of March, CIT tuition will begin, but before the start of that tuition, you will also have some brief immersion before the rollout of that particular program. So kindly take note of that and also prepare accordingly. So the programs we have offering are going to run for all our various program lines in terms of tuition for professional programs. That is the ICAG program as well as the CIT program. So these are our product offerings: immersion, main tuition, modular, and then we have what we call the intervention. The modular is targeting reseaters, which are obviously persons who may not want to come onto the entire full program, but want some quick revision. We dedicate the modular for them. And the same modular is for both ICA tuition as well as the CIT tuition. And students who have registered for the modular have over the time have received good outcomes in terms of preparation, in order to get the best outcome in the exam. So that is it. The intervention is normally an intensive revision program done before the exam, to prepare all students in order to have solid revision, very intensive, before the start of the exam. And it's all obviously open, and it's an option that all students can take advantage of in order to prepare for the exam. So that is it. Basically, we are good. These are the programs options we have, and it's a very innovative arrangement to ensure that we meet expectations of all stakeholders. Are we clear? So that is it. So Mike, we can move to the next slide if you are ready. Yes. So our tech advantage, which is what is our distinguishing factor in what we do, is the technology advantage. Is that clear? For our CIT program, students normally have no in-person session. It's strictly online. A webinar session for good tuition, we provide it, exactly, for the CIT program. For ICA, what we do is that as the face-to-face session is happening live in class, we transmit the same session live on Zoom. So it's more like a dual delivery model, exactly. As the lecture is happening in class, exactly, student who wants to join online can give you an opportunity to join the lecture online. And we don't discriminate exactly, because there are some students who may come for in person and want to join online. We don't have a problem at all. If you come in person and you want to still join online, we give you that option at the same fee, no change in price. Whatever you pay for tuition, we allow you to join both in person and online for the ICA program. But for the CIT program, it's strictly online. Now, one other innovative idea we have put together is that over the period, students will always complain that after the class, how do I get the video? So we have a good app, which is a technology we have put together, where after every class, now our benchmark is 24 hours. Within 24 hours, videos of the class are shared with students for use for proper revision after the class, before the next session. So when you miss a class, you were not able to come in person, you were not able to join online, the video is made available for you in our mobile app for you to download, stream, without internet, so that at the end of the day, you can be able to recap all that was done in readiness for the next class. And that is what we have been able to achieve with our software. A mobile app, well-refined, well-developed, giving you opportunity to have videos after the class, stream them without internet, after you have downloaded it, you stream it without internet, and be able to stream it and get all the needed knowledge or information before the next class. And this is something that has distinguished us beyond or above or set us apart from other tuition providers in what we do. And we are found to be the best when it comes to technological advantage. We have distinguished ourselves, and we've done this over the last 5 years. And we are currently the leading tuition provider when it comes to tech advantage, for both the CIT program and the ICA program. Now, somebody may ask, how do I save all these videos? We also give you the opportunity to use the laptop. You can download the app on the laptop through a simulator, which can help you to access the mobile app on your laptop for the needed space you need to download the videos. So that is the advantage we have. And all students are very delighted anytime it comes to this advantage. Students in the hinterland all over the country are able to have access to the videos at their own pleasure and watch and prepare for the lesson. So basically, that is our technology advantage. And I can tell you, it has been a game changer when it comes to tuition for most students. So take note of that as we move to the next slide. So Mike, you can move to the next one. Right, so this is our program for intervention. If you're not aware, for those who are joining us now, we have an intervention program for the ICAG program. And if you need information on this, you can reach us on our social media platform, or you can reach any of the numbers down there and obtain information to help you join the intervention. Because obviously, our intervention will begin on 1st of March for both level 2 and 3 programs, preparing students for the March time. So if you haven't registered, it's an opportunity for you to register. It's an intensive revision session, preparing students to take the paper. So Mike, you can move to the next one. I think this is for level 3 program. We also have the level 2 program, and all this is starting this coming week from Wednesday, the 1st of March, running to the following week, 8th of March, So it's going to be a full week of revision. Normally it's going to happen in the day. And even beyond that, we have an extended session. Even though we do the session in person and online at the same time for intervention, when we are done, we even have an extended session beyond the meeting we have scheduled with you. We normally want to find a way, to carry you to the day of the exam. So even some of the session we did last sitting was very interesting. For example, those lectures for level 3, which are in the afternoon, we were running early dawn lectures, to run them through some key issues before they wrote the exam in the afternoon. And it has proven to also change a lot of issues for most students in the exam, because once we did that lecture, most of the issues were at their fingertips and they were able to go into the exam and do a lot of magic. So that helps a lot, I can tell you. So the intervention is so dedicated, committed to help you to go into the exam and come out strong. So that is it. So Mike, we can move to the next slide. Right, so these are program outline for the Immersion program for ICAG. So if you look at the program, the Immersion program will be strictly weekdays. So if I should use an example for strategic case study, the lecture will always be on Mondays from now, that is 23rd, that is next week Monday, Exactly. That would be 26th or 27th. That is 27th or so. Exactly. From Monday, next week, Monday, that session will be live every Monday for strategic case study. So for the immersion program, it's strictly weekdays. Are we clear? But when we begin the main tuition, there will always be weekend and weekday session for all the subjects. Are we clear? So take note of that. The immersion program is strictly going to be on weekdays. Exactly. From Monday to Friday, for all subjects. That is why you see an asterisk or cancellation sign within the weekend programs for all the programs. Exactly. So immersion is strictly weekday, Monday to Friday. So please take note of that as we progress. So Mike, we can move to the next thing. So this is obviously our immersion program and as well as our main tuition program. But as I said, immersion has started 27th, registration has started, main tuition will start on the 17th of April. Exactly. And the benefit is that when you are doing immersion, when the time starts for main tuition, you don't need to pay anything because the immersion program is a free program, which is an add-on benefit for registering for the main tuition. The immersion program is a free program, which is an add-on benefit for registering for the main tuition. Are we clear? So you are registering for main tuition, but we are giving you an advanced preparation class to help you prepare for the main tuition. And the main tuition, as we said, for July, will begin from the 17th of April. The immersion has started, so if you haven't registered, kindly do so to ensure that your preparation for the next diet is well in line. Are we clear? So, Mike, thank you for this particular slide. Let's move to the next one. Let's move to the next slide. So, for our CIT program, we've already started CIT registration also. So, if you want to register for CIT, kindly take note of our programs. Exactly. CIC Part 1 for the international taxation is on Saturdays. Exactly. Oil and gas is also on Saturday. And then tax investigation or audit and investigation is on Sundays. Exactly. So now the major change to our CIT program is that the CIT will be running specifically on weekends. In the past, we're running both weekend and weekdays. Exactly. The reason for this is that the weekend program will be the main tuition program, whilst the weekday will be a modular session for reciters. So going into the August diet, the main tuition for CIT will be on weekends, whilst the modular for, that's the reciters program for CIT will be a weekday program. Are we clear? So if you are registering for CIT or intend to register for CIT, that is the program option we have for you. Are we clear? And we have our books available, exactly, which you can obtain within the app. Their soft versions are there. Normally, the lectures will also give you updated versions of the information in the book for you to use for your guidance in the preparation for the lecture. Now, let me tell you, our CIT program is one of the most profound programs in the country. The tutors are so solid with solid backgrounds. We have Faisal Mustafa, who works with GRA as a manager, a lawyer, exactly, and a member of CIT. We also have the popular Alhassan Trawali, well-known head of research at the Institute, now promoted to Director for Training and Development at the Institute, exactly. So we also have Henry. Henry works with Deloitte as a manager in the tax department. Philip, one of our alumni, also a manager, as a CFO in one of the organizations, are we clear? This is the profound thing we have for you when it comes to the CIT program. And I can tell you the outcome are so marvelous. And students always tell us that, you know what, the change you brought to the CIT phase is so remarkable that a lot of students are having good outcomes in the exams. And I must encourage everybody, if you are yet to register for the CIT, I can assure you the same level of delivery and quality that we have for our ICA program have been replicated on the CIT platform with ease, basically because we are copying from what we've done in the CIT program to the CIT. And it's top-notch performance from all our lecturers. And I can tell you, we are ready to ensure that you are prepared well for the August 2023 diet. Are we clear? So basically, that is it. That's for our CIT program. Now, Mike, if you can move to the next session, which is on the executive training. Now, for our executive training, this program will be rolled out in March, and it's a training that every accountant needs. And I can tell you, if you want to embarrass yourself, you don't go for this training because you need soft skills. Excel skills for modeling is a key requirement for every young accountant. If you don't have these skills, I can tell you, you can never be a finance manager at the top level of most of the big organizations Because at that level, delivery is the key thing. Exactly. Benchmarks are given to you to prepare reports, model issues, and provide report for management decision making. And if you cannot model, you embarrass yourself. I can tell you for a fact. So please, you need this training. I must say, training specifically developed to help you appreciate all the modeling skills that you need. Exactly. We empower you with advanced Excel skills and take you on to how to model. Exactly. For some dashboards, how to prepare dashboards for financial reporting, budget and appraisal performance. We can even help you to learn how to model for payroll management, modeling for forensic auditing or investigation, modeling for project management. These are all packages that if you learn how to model, exactly, we can help you to provide dashboards which are specifically tailored towards the particular industry you find yourself. So the modeling lecture will start, or modeling or executive training will start in March. We are likely to start exactly in the third week of March after the ICA program, and it's strictly online. It will be weekly, and it will be a program that will be shared on all our platforms once we are about to commence. And I encourage all of us to take advantage of it, to give ourselves the necessary skills that are required to put us in the best of our shape for the work we have to do. Are we clear? So that is it. So Mike, we can go to the final slide, and then thereafter, if there are questions, we may go over and then pick up our questions. So normally we have what we call the alumni webinar. A webinar normally done for our alumni, even as well as our students, exactly on relevant topics. We normally do it every quarter. And the first quarter, which is this March, we have another alumni webinar. And this webinar is dedicated to tax, exactly, for our CIT program. We'll be doing that on the 6th of March, which is a holiday. It will be starting at 6 p.m. in the evening. And we have our guest lecturer for CIT, specifically Faisal, who is a manager with GRA, exactly, a lawyer, of course, a profound lecturer for CIT. And his topic for the theme of the day will be the need to review all tax treaties for possible renegotiation. Ghana as a country is struggling with revenue collection. And there are so many international tax agreements, exactly, which has been very unfavorable to us as a nation. How do we get more revenue when a lot of countries are exempted from double taxation agreements? So what is the point here? Faisal come up with a discussion specifically targeting what government should do, exactly, by renegotiating some of these old treaties, exactly, to make them relevant in the space of the situation we face as a country. Ghana clearly is challenged in terms of revenue recognition. Our debt to capital is far beyond 100%. And the only way to fill that gap is to mobilize more revenue. And to do that, one of the things we are recommending as a consultant group is that government as a country, exactly the government of the day, should renegotiate all our tax treaties with all countries that we have double taxation agreements with, exactly, so that it becomes favorable for us to mobilize more revenue. And it's a stopgap measure which can help us close our tax gap or revenue gap to a large extent. And I will encourage everybody to join Faisal. It's an authority on the subject matter, a former employee of Deloitte, and now with the GRA, exactly, a manager with GRA, exactly, in the International Tax Department. And I can tell you, you will be exposed to some knowledge in this particular area. Are we clear? In addition to that, also, one of the next webinar we'll be doing, which I want to just share with you, will be a webinar dedicated, exactly, to the mass exodus of accountants from Ghana to the UK and other European countries. It's a phenomenon happening across the country now. A lot of accountants are leaving the country. Our next webinar will be dedicated to that, where we shall bring some of these gentlemen who have traveled out of the country to share their experience, exactly, with us on how they've been able to manage the storm in the foreign countries, specifically working with multinational companies. Are we clear? So we'll be doing that webinar. The next webinar will be dedicated to that. But for this webinar, is dedicated to how government, exactly, can use this stopgap measure of reviewing tax treaties, exactly, with some of the countries, possible renegotiation to help us as a country get back to close our revenue stream. Are we clear? So that is our webinar. We'll be starting on the 6th of March, specifically 6 p.m. And I can tell you, I will be the host for the event, and it will be a very lovely discussion on the 6th of March. Are we clear? If there are any questions, very soon we'll be taking the questions, exactly. Mike, I hope you are ready with that. If there are questions, Mike, if you can come on, let's see how we manage that aspect of the program. Mike, I hope you are there.
Yes, Eli, I'm here.
Okay, so how do we manage the question and answer session? Should they drop it in the chat box or something?
Yes, they should drop it in the chat box.
So if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat box. Mike will retrieve the question and then I'll respond to it. But in order for us to get the questions together, so you can put the question there in the next 5 minutes, we can start taking the question. So Mike, if you can help me do a quick overview of what we've done so far so that colleagues can be up to speed and then we can take the questions. Are we clear? So if you can start from the onset.
So someone says, what is the immersion program about?
Okay, so if you can start, if you can get us to the beginning, I'm sure of the slides, I can quickly run through the slides once more, and then we can take the questions. Are we clear? So if you can take me to the start of the slides, to the beginning, and then we can take off from there. You can begin from the timelines, exactly. Just go to the next one. Yeah, flip it to the next one. So what we are saying, like the person was asking about the immersion, the aim of the immersion is to ensure that our students get some level of advanced preparation before the start of the night. A lot has changed in terms of our programs when it comes to the ICAG program. In the past, we were writing exams in May when it was a 2-diet system. When it became a 3-diet system, exams was in April. Now, exams has been moved to March for the first diet of the year, meaning that the time of preparation is so limited and we had only 2 months to finish a preparation. So what is the wisdom of this? The wisdom we've got from this is that we cannot wait, exactly, for a new diet to begin when the current diet is already in session. We are going to run the two concurrently. That is the decision we have made strategically. So what we are saying is that now that we are running the March diet, exactly, we are going to start the July diet almost immediately. And we are starting this coming week, where tuition will be done to introduce students, which is what we are calling immersion. Advanced preparation program will begin from Monday, exactly, and it will run to April 16th. Exactly. So by the time the results are released for the March diet, we roll out the main tuition program. Every student will now be rolled from the immersion to the main tuition. So what it means is that you are registering for the main tuition in advance, where you are going to get advanced preparation before the start of the main tuition. So by the time the main tuition starts in April, you already have some advanced lectures, exactly, preparing you before the start of the main tuition. So that is the strategy we are talking about here. So by the time we are even getting to the November diet, exactly, we would have started the November diet whilst we are in June, when the June diet is already, or the July diet is already in session. So if you look over there, the November diet will begin with an immersion from June, so that by the time we are even finishing the July diet, exactly, the November diet will have started in June, so that we can do the immersion, the advanced preparation, before the start of lectures in August. Are we clear? By that time, the result for July would have been released. And it's the same for the next year program. The March 2024 program will also start in October 16, this same year. Once we begin the program, tuition will begin from December 11th for the next year diet. So that is the way forward. So what we mean to say is that every diet that we are running currently will be run simultaneously with the following diet. And technologically, we are preparing for that. We are running several updates to make sure that our mobile app responds to the changes we are preferring. Are we together? So Mike, you can move to the next one.
So there's a question that says, sir, please, does it mean that the immersion for next diet starts before this diet ends? And yes, can I join the immersion just after the exam? And
yeah, you can join the immersion. You can join the immersion
or something.
Mike, come again. Just take your time with the question. You were saying also that the current diet is in session, but the immersion has started. So if you want to register for the immersion, maybe you are writing the current sitting and you want to finish before writing, exams will end 17th of March, is that not it? So by the time you end the exams in 17th of March, you can quickly register for the next diet almost immediately, exactly, and begin with the immersion. So that by the time the results are released, you are already getting some advanced preparation before the results are released. So that is the way to go. So if exams end on 17th of March, if you are somebody who wants to register another paper in the following diet, you can immediately register immediately after the exam, join the immersion, which is an advanced preparation program, so that by the time we get to the main tuition for July, which will start from April 17, you are already getting advanced preparation before then. So it's not a problem at all. Are we together? Mike, is that okay?
Yes, Ali, that's fine.
All right, so is there any other question, or you can move to the next slide?
1 second.
Right. So the next thing is that, yes, these are our innovative programs. Top-notch programs prepared to give you desired outcomes. Are we clear? So as I've reiterated, we have the immersion, we have the main tuition, we have the modular, and then the intervention. The modular is aimed for reciters who, having gone through the sitting, may have done the syllabus and require some revision to help them prepare for the next dive. So the modular is aimed for reciters. So if you are a reciter, obviously preparing for the next diet or something, you can join the modular if you so wish. But we normally advise that when you are joining the modular, you must be sure of the quality of work you have done in the past. Are we together? We expect students who have got marks in the previous exam beyond 35 to 45 should be the ones joining the immersion. Are we clear? So anything above 35, you can join the modular, sorry. You can join the modular. Are we clear? Sometimes students normally join the modular when their previous performance is so bad and normally create problems in the class. They ask questions which are so basic and normally they should have joined the main tuition program. So that is why I'm actually recommending that. Okay. So Mike, you can move to the next thing. Is there any question?
Yes. Someone says, will those who pay for the tuition be allowed to join the revision class, or they will have to pay for the intervention?
The intervention is a paid service. It's a different program, obviously different from the main tuition. And that is why we want to make sure that students understand the program packages we have. And we've shared this severally. There's an immersion. Immersion is free in addition with your main tuition. Modular is for reciters. Are we clear? They are all different programs. And intervention is an optional program where you want to subject yourself to intensive revision for the exam. So they are all different programs. Out of all the 5 programs, the only free one is the immersion. Even with that, you are registering for the main tuition to get it as a free program. Are we clear? So that is it. Is there any other question?
I think this is for the immersion. Someone says, won't it distract the current exam because we have to focus on the exam?
The immersion is not meant for people who are writing exam. Immersion is advanced preparation. And even if you are writing the exam now, are you getting the point? And maybe you want to join the immersion after the exam. The good thing that we always have with ASPA is that every lecture is recorded. I hope you are with me. Every lecture is recorded. So by the time you are done with the exam now and want to join the immersion, there's no problem. All previous sessions will be recorded. You download it, watch it without internet, and prepare yourself to join the next session. So it's not a problem at all. The technological backbone we have in place provides sound support to make sure that you are able to catch up when necessary. Are we clear? So that is it. So Mike, you can move to the next one. The innovative.
Is the cost for the immersion program the same as that of the actual tuition?
There's no cost for immersion. You are paying for tuition and that gives you access to the immersion. So the immersion is not a paid program. You are registering for tuition. And once you register for the tuition now, you are getting the immersion for free. So that's why I'm saying that just register as if you are registering for tuition and you add you to the platform for tuition, but we'll be running an immersion before we take off on the 17th of April. Are we clear? So there's no difference or there's no charge for the immersion. You are registering for the main tuition. Whilst waiting for the main tuition to start, we are conducting some free lectures for you before the start of the main tuition. Are we clear? So if that understanding is clear, we should move to the next one. Any questions?
Good initiative, but please let us finish exam before immersion starts.
As I said, there are people already itching who have already started registering for immersion already. So as we are saying, it's not a problem. If you are a student already on our platform, your respite should be that ASPA always has your back with recorded sessions to give you the needed support. So it shouldn't be a problem at all. Exactly. Just focus on your exam, finish hard, and come and join the immersion for the next diet. Exactly. Because there may be somebody who may be at the final level who have registered for maybe 2 papers in the final level and wanting to register for the remaining 2 in the next diet. Are we clear? So once you are done with the paper, don't wait till the results are released. Quickly join the immersion. Exactly. Catch up with the previous videos and then quickly come and join us and let's start the revision quickly so that you can be able to get good preparation before the start of the diet. So that when we start the diet, you don't have that kind of anxiety that, hey, there's so many things on my head, so many topics to discuss, and I'm not able to have time to go through them. No. The immersion will clearly reduce that level of pressure on our students where they have the opportunity to prepare in advance before the start of the tuition. So that is it. So Mike, is there any other question?
With your impressive delivery on ICA online tuition,
yes,
any considerations which the current chartered diploma programs by ICAG?
Yes, the institute has a chartered program for various options they have. Actually, the good thing is that our good friend, that's Alhassan Trawali, has just been appointed as the head of training and development with the institute. And he is also on our programs. And we are looking at some collaborations with the institute when it comes to some of these programs, exactly. We'll look at it, whatever serves us well, we'll look at which of them we can look at doing. So we have a meeting with them specifically, that is the Training and Development Department of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, led by Alhassan Trawali, a good friend of mine, to see what convergence we can achieve on some of the programs, exactly. So once we have been able to have some consensus, we can be able to run some programs jointly, exactly, to deliver the same level of quality that we have delivered on the ICAG program. So keep your fingers crossed. Some of these things, we roll it out in phases, exactly. And there are some programs that we are about to release, but I don't want to mention them now. And it will be major surprises when we have our next alumni session, are we clear? So just keep your fingers crossed. We have you at heart, are we clear? Right, Mike, any other question?
I have learned that the current ICAG syllabus will be revised in 2024. How does your program for March 2024 fit in there?
Thank you for that question. Now, the last time the syllabus was revised and the syllabus took off in July, that's 2019, for the November exams, are we clear? So we started up this particular syllabus July 2019, preparing students for the November diet, are we clear? Now, from all indication, I don't want to speak for the institute, but it's likely that the next syllabus, which will be coming in 2024, exactly, will be rolled out in the latter part of the 2024 year. So why not next year, 2024, we'll have a program for that, exactly. So it's obvious that we may run about 2 diet before the rollout of the next syllabus, are we clear? So we are preparing for that. Whatever the change will be, it's a lot of burden because there will be some need to revise our manuals and need to revise our program schedule and all of that, exactly. But for the year 2023, these are our programs, exactly. And we don't expect it to change until the first diet of 2024, are we together? So please, this runs to the end of March 2024. So it shouldn't be a problem at all, okay? Right. So any question again, Mike?
Please, Ellie, how much is the registration fee for CIT for the August diet?
So Mike, if you can go to that particular slide for CIT. Yes, I think this is it. So for CIT, for final part 1 is 495 per paper. And then for final part 2 is 515 per paper. I can tell you this is below, I think our success factor is below average price, but above average benefit, are we clear? This is clearly below average price, and I can tell you the superior benefit you obtain from this program is unmatched anywhere, are we clear? So that's it. Well, Mike, is there any other question?
Kindly throw some more light on the executive training program in terms of timelines and registration.
Obviously. So for the technological training program, which will happen in March, we are beginning in March, exactly. But let me take some time and explain how this program works. If you look at the program there, we are going to do what we call optional quarterly training. And the first training is in March. The second training is in July. And the last training will be November, December. Now, why the quarterly training? We realized that sometimes having trained people for the financial modeling program, some people still require some further training, exactly, to advance their skills. So what we are doing is that if you register for the financial modeling program in March, you can join the July diet without paying a fee. You can join the December without paying a fee. What it means is that you are going to pay 800 cedi and join 3 different training programs that will be happening within the year. And you can opt to join any of them. You can join the March one, you can join the July one, and you can even join the December one. Are we clear? And this training program, you have access to our app for a full year, to the videos of all training, unrestricted access for a whole year, to the training packages, which will be shared with you in the app. Are we together? So basically, the March training program will begin, as I said, in the 3rd week of March. Exactly. We begin in the 3rd week of March. The program will be released by next week. Exactly. And the program training, we'll have a program schedule for that. And usually it will be on weekends. is going to be running on weekends. Normally, we run it from Saturdays from 7:30 in the morning to 11 in the day, or almost sometimes we close at 12, exactly. So it's going to be a morning session on Saturdays, exactly, for normally a period of about a month and a half. We should be done, exactly. So normally about 6 or 7 meetings, we should be done with the program. And because of the frequent other trainings, even if you have not been able to catch some of the issues, there are previous videos there that you can use to catch up. Aside that also, you can wait and join the next session in July to further catch up again and again and again. So please, it's a full year program, but you are paying just a single fee for a full year program. Are we clear? So that is it. So I hope my explanation has helped you in that regard. Right. Mike, any other question?
Ellie, when the immersion and the main tuition is merged, are those on the immersion program going to start with those on the main tuition program?
Yes, they'll start together. But what will happen is that when we start the main tuition, we start everything afresh. We are not going to consider the fact that because some have started before you, exactly, then we begin from where we left them. No. Everything will be done together. Let me give you an example. I teach financial reporting.
So meaning that it's just that the immersion guys have something like a sneak peek into the whole program.
Yeah, a sneak peek into the program. Let me use an example, like for financial reporting as a subject I teach, right? If I'm going to do immersion, one of the key topics I'm going to take is the regulatory and conceptual framework, basic issue. Run all the students through that issue, solve some possible exam questions with them. Then I move on to evaluation of financial statements, where we shall learn how to evaluate financial statement. Then I'll select some few standards which are very basic. For example, IAS 16, IAS 40, IAS 38, IAS 36, some of the standards relating to asset, for them to appreciate some of the issues there before we move to the main tuition. So when we begin the main tuition, all these issues will be dealt with all over again. I hope you are listening carefully. We will treat the same issues all over again. But just that you coming into the lecture have some advanced benefit in terms of preparation, so that when you come into the program, you are like a reciter in the exam, in the main tuition. Mike, I hope you are hearing me. So you are like a reciter coming into the diet, because at the end of the day, you got some advanced knowledge on some of the issues before coming into the diet. Are we together? So everything will be start afresh when we begin the main tuition. The only difference is that you registering early gives you an opportunity to prepare yourself in advance before coming into the program.
Start watching the old videos.
You can even start watching the old videos and prepare yourself, so that when the reason why we even call it immersion is that exactly we want to drop you into the main tuition comfortably. Are you getting the point? If you have gone to South Africa and joined what we call hot balloons, exactly, parachute, some people call it parachute, exactly. If you are landing with a hot balloon, exactly, it's like an immersion. You are coming down slightly into the program very nicely, so that when you start or join the program, you don't come and then you are surprising yourself. No, some of the element of surprise is eliminated, so that when you join the main tuition, your level of seriousness will be adapted. And sometimes we have that challenge. Students come into the main tuition and they are not serious. That is the fact. But with the immersion, you'll be able to be exposed to some issues, so that when you come into the main tuition, your level of appreciation of issues will be better. So that is the advantage we give to our students. Are we clear? Right. Mike, any other question?
We have a string of CIT questions out. Let me take them all so that you just answer them.
Okay, so let's kill the CIT issues.
Okay, so when is the class for CIT exam starting? 1. Okay. And then are the CIT results released? 2.
No.
And then
Mike, I beg you, take your time. So the question is, when is the CIT tuition starting? Now, CIT's tuition will start immersion for CIT second week in March, if you are listening carefully, meaning that we'll be doing introductory lectures from the second week in March. Are we clear? Then we'll begin the main tuition for CIT at the end or the last week in March. Are we clear? As we expect that the result of the previous exam should be released by first week in what? In what do you call it? By first week in April, or even before then. Exactly. But whatever it is, we will begin introductory for CIT in the middle, that is second week of March. Full tuition will take off at the end of March. That's the last week of March. Are we clear? So please take note of the timelines for the CIT. Okay? Right. Mike, any other question?
Please elaborate on the CIT program in terms of costs. Does a potential student or a chartered need to pay for exemptions, as in the case of ICA? How many sittings are there in a year?
Yeah, so for the CIT, as a member of ICA, you are going to be given exemptions to write only 6 papers. Are we together? So when you are a CA member, to write the CIT program, you are going to be exempted from 8 papers to join the CIT program. So you'll be writing 6 papers to qualify. And the 6 papers to qualify are what are displayed there. And they are in 2 levels. The first 3, you must write it before you write the final 3. So if you are an ICA member, the first 3 papers you'll be writing is international taxation, oil and gas taxation, and then tax audit and investigation. Are we clear? So that you have to pay for your exemption as it is for ICA before you are able to write the exam. Are we clear? And we have a process in place to help you register and get your exemptions with the Institute of CIT before the start of the tuition. Or you can even do that as tuition is running. We don't have a problem. We can help you or facilitate that process for you to register with the Institute before the exams, which will be happening in August. Exactly. Registration for the August exam in terms of exam is likely to begin exactly from the month of June, obviously. So once from June, we can start helping you to prepare and pay for your exemptions. Exactly. So for now, register for tuition, start your lectures, and prepare towards paying of your exemption and what exam registration. Are we clear? So that is it. Any question on CIT again?
If one is expecting results, registers, and passes, what happens to the registration? Is it refundable or transferable where appropriate?
Come again with the question.
I think this is about the immersion, the registration in advance. So let me rephrase it. Let's say I have registered for a paper and I'm yet to sit the exam, but then I register for next sitting for that same paper. And then the results are released and I have passed that paper. Can I change the registration to another paper?
So if you have written the exam, your results are not released, and you have come to register for the same paper again.
Yes.
And then the result came and then you have passed. Can you switch it to another paper?
Yes.
I wouldn't advise you to register for a paper when the results are not released. You have written the paper already, so wait for the outcome. Are we together? Because by the time the results are released, obviously you may have to. We are going to begin the main tuition, so it will not be prudent to register now when you have registered. It's not prudent to register for a paper for immersion when you have already written the paper. I don't think it makes logic for me. Exactly. It's not, doesn't make logic. And we don't transfer payment from one paper to the other just on the premise that you have registered or passed the paper. I don't think it makes sense there. So I would rather wish that you wait. Exactly. You wait. If assuming you have written the paper, then rather wait so that if the next diet comes, you can begin what we call the modular, which is the reciters program. So rather you can wait and register for modular so that maybe if the outcome is not good, you can join the modular program. I think that would be the best recommendation I'll give to you. So don't register for the diet if you have already in the process of writing that paper. Exactly. Wait, let's see the outcome. Let's evaluate the outcome and then choose whether you want to join the main tuition or the modular. I think that would be the best recommendation, right? Mike, any other question?
Okay, so there's a question on if part payments can be made for the financial modeling.
For financial modeling, that from now to the time we are going to start the program, I'm sure there's enough time. Mike, have you to receive your salary? Or your salary is coming on next week?
It's 30 days, so it will come tomorrow.
It will come next week. Okay, that's fine. So obviously, salaries are being paid this week. So if you are in, Mike, I hope you're hearing my English. You are in February. The month has not ended. A program is going to start in March. You are already asking for half payment. Like, how do you want me to manage your program now? Mike, I'm not speaking rationally. Like, from now to that time, there's enough time. So I'm wondering why you would want to defer payment when the program has not even started.
Usually before the salary lands, there is negative in the accounts.
Then go and apply IAS 37. Exactly. Exactly, make provision, because this one is a present obligation. So, there's no need to struggle to make an estimate because the fee is there, you know it. So, obviously, you can make a provision. Exactly. Mike, any other question?
No, I think you can move on.
Okay, so I think we are fine. Most of the issues have been clearly discussed. Exactly. We can do a final overview and then we can call it a night. Exactly. So, Mike, if you can go from the beginning, we do an overview and then we can shut down. So the video will be recorded, shared with all colleagues. Exactly. After the session, it will be live on YouTube. We'll be there. You can pick it up and watch it. If there's any part you have missed out, why not? You can catch up later. So what we are saying is that I have about 5 minutes to wrap up. Exactly. What we are saying is that we're having a stakeholder meeting to update you on our programs and technological development so far. Now, for the ICA program, a lot has changed. Date of exams has moved from May to April and now in March. And now we are going to write exam March, July, and November. As a responsible tuition provider, we are strategically responding to this change. And how do we do that? We shall be running 2 diets concurrently at the same time. And how do we achieve that? Now, we have March diet currently running. And today happens to be the last day of lecture. Next week onwards, we have our revision. Exams start 13th of March. And results may come first week in April. So what we are saying is that if a student will have to wait till 17th of April to start tuition, why won't you rather register now and get the tuition in advance so that by the time we get to 17th of April, we can start lectures for the next diet, which is supposed to happen from April to June. That is the philosophy we are putting across. So that at the end of the day, you are prepared in advance before the beginning of the main tuition. And this comes at no extra cost and is free for anybody who register for the main tuition now. That is the strategy we put across. Are we clear? So that is it. The timelines are there. You can have a look at it and prepare accordingly. So Mike, you can move to the next slide. So we are saying that with this timeline, is that clear? It is in line with our choice to provide you innovative programs. Immersion, advanced preparation, main tuition is the tuition provided to cover the entire syllabus. The modular is purposely tailored to reseaters. And for both the ICAG and the CIT program, all these packages are available for students to opt for them. We have our intervention program, which is going to start next week. That is from 1st of March, and helping you to prepare intensively for the exam ahead of you. Are we clear? So that is, so if you are interested, you can register for that also. The flyer will be shared with you very soon. Now, when it comes to our technological advantage, we have done several updates now to help us adjust to the new arrangement. And we are actually doing that for Android is live. So all students who have the Android, exactly, if you update your app now, we have made the necessary changes in the app to accommodate the 2 diet system. Are we clear? So you could go into your app now, you see December to March, which is the diet that we are currently running. Exactly. And then April to what? To June is the next diet we shall be running. Are we clear? And that diet has begun already, which we shall be running along with what? The March diet. And we shall begin with an immersion program to prepare the student before the start of the main tuition. Are we together? And the good news is that our app has access for you to download your videos, stream it without internet, anytime, at anywhere you are. And then obviously our lectures are such that they are very flexible. A student can come in person or join us online for the ICA program. And it comes at no extra cost. All lecture videos are recorded and shared in the mobile app for you to access and watch subsequently. Are we clear? When it comes to the ICIT program, it's strictly online. Even with that, videos are shared with students in our app. They can download this, stream it at any time they want. Normally, we advise students to also use their laptops, exactly, to be able to stream the videos, because that provides you the needed space, exactly, to be able to stream your resources without stress. Are we clear? So, Mike, we can move to the intervention. So, this is our intervention program starting from the 1st of March, beginning with financial reporting and advanced taxation for the first papers. 1st of March, are we clear? And it will run for a week ending on 8th of March. Is that clear? For both level 2 and level 3 subjects. Are we clear? So if you are interested, you can go into the app under tuition. Is that clear? Under the ICAG tuition, you select intervention and register. Even when you register now, all the previous videos of the intervention or the previous interventions are there in the app now. You can be using it for advanced preparation, even before we start the intervention. The videos are there. We have already added people to the WhatsApp platform. So if you're not there, kindly request to be added if you are done with payment, and get the materials and start your preparation immediately. Exactly. So that is the opportunity we offer to the intervention student. All intervention videos are there in the app now. You can obtain it, start your revision before the start of the intervention. Are we clear? So we can move to the next slide, Mike. So we also have our CIT program, but before that, this is the program schedule for the immersion. And why have we designed a program like this? The program has been carefully designed to cater for all the expectation of the immersion before the start of the main tuition. So for the immersion program, it shall run weekly from Monday to Friday, exactly, for all level 2 and level 3 program. For level 1, the immersion program is going to be on weekends. The immersion program for level 1 will be on weekends. And the lecture for level 1 is also going to be on weekends. So there's no difference between their immersion and main tuition. Whatever they do on the weekends, when the tuition begins, will continue on the weekends. Exactly. But for the level 2 and 3, when main tuition begins, we shall run main tuition on both weekends and weekdays. So please take advantage of it and advise yourself accordingly. So if you go to the next slide to confirm the timelines, Mike, you can go to the next slide. So to confirm the timeline, as I said, immersion will start from 27th of February, which is this week. We started already. Tuition will start from next week once we are ready. And then also the next diet, that is the main tuition, will start from the 17th of April. Exactly. So Mike, you can move to the next one. For our CIT program, which has become exactly a top-notch program across the entire country, I encourage all students who are on our alumni platform to register, because now you cannot distinguish yourself without value. And the CIT program adds value to you and professionally distinguish you from others. I can tell you, people are doing the CIT and they are qualifying. If you want to change your job, if you want to remain relevant in the profession, please, the CIT is the next big thing. Are we together? It's the next big thing. People are qualifying. I'll use the word by heart. And if you find yourself in the profession without this qualification, I can tell you, if you are working for an entity, this can be a key distinguishing factor to put you to the next level. And for most CFO roles now, the CIT is becoming an auxiliary option for most CFO roles. So now I encourage everyone to take advantage of it. Exactly. Then the next thing is our financial modeling training program, which is going to happen also in March. Exactly. And as I said, this training program happening in March will be repeated in July and also repeated in November, December. Now, why is that the case? The reason is because we found out that after the training program, some students still require some refresher program. So what we are doing is that once we pay for the March option, you can even join the July and the December one at no extra fee. And all resources in the app will be made available to you for the entire year without not you denied access to it. So I can inform you that modeling is the key thing for most accountants now. Your modeling modeling skills can distinguish you and set you apart from others. Are we clear? So let's move to the last slide, which is on our webinar. And as I said, we normally do a webinar for our alumni where we educate them on current developments. Are we together? Which can serve as a CPD, obviously. And the next topic we are picking is the need for government to review old tax treaties, which obviously they have in some multinational or developing countries. Some of these treaties have become exactly suboptimal and against the development of this nation, because we have this arrangement with some nations which they are taking advantage of, exactly, and not paying taxes. And as we speak as a nation, we are struggling with our GDP ratio in terms of low debt to equity or debt to GDP. We are struggling extensively. And why is that the case? Because of what? The gap in revenue. So how will government be able to mobilize more revenues to achieve the necessary, exactly, fiscal stabilization? To do that, our recommendation is that government should find ways to renegotiate some of these tax treaties, exactly, to bring up more tax mobilizations to help the country to develop. And this webinar is meant for all our students, our alumni, to grow your minds on issues of tax. And we have our profound lecturer, Faisal, a former manager with Deloitte, and now manager with GRA, exactly, a lawyer, and a CIT member, an accountant, exactly, and of high repute and sourceful within the industry, exactly. And he's also our lecturer for strategic taxation planning for the final level part for the CIT program. Exactly. So please take time and make time and join it. It's going to be on the 6th of March. And as I said, there will be another webinar which is dedicated to deal with the exodus of most of our young accountants out of this country to the developing countries such as the UK, all in pursuit of professional development. So much is going on. So our next webinar will also be dedicated to that topic. And I will bet you that you should keep yourself on the alert. Once the time is scheduled, try and join that webinar and be well informed. So Mike, is there any final questions before we close? Is there any final question before we close?
Okay, so I'll take the final batch of questions. Do you have a modular for CIT and how much is it per paper?
We have a modular for CIT. To make it easy for you, take the tuition fee for the normal, take the fee for the normal tuition and take off 20%. Normally, our modular is 20% of the main tuition fee. Exactly. So if you look at the tuition fee for CIT,
20% off.
20% off the tuition
Not
fee
off.
for, 20% off the tuition fee for the normal tuition. So normally that is the way we normally do it. So 20% off the main tuition is what students pay for the modular. Are we together? So you can use that as a benchmark and it should be fine, right? Mike, any other question?
Will the online class be held in the app or you send a link?
Normally, all online apps are via Zoom. That is our main preferred medium for our online program. And all online sessions are secured, exactly, using the Zoom webinar, exactly. So all the lectures are secured, and the security feature is that the link will be sent into your mail and is user specific, exactly. You cannot share it with any third party or colleague. The link is shared to you in your mail, and it is only user specific. So please, it is using the Zoom webinar platform. So please take note of that, okay? Right. Mike, any question?
Are we getting CIT books this time?
This time around, we are in economic, we are in economic problem, major economic recovery problem. Production of these books have become extensively expensive, and it is very, very economically unwise to share those books for free going into the future. So what we've done is that in order to save you some cost, the soft copy of the books will be shared in the app for free, which I'll call the ebook. Exactly. I call it the ebook. So you can access the book in the app for free. But if you need a hard copy, then you can apply or register in the app or request for it in the app for you to be provided. Exactly. So for now, the CIT books are free in terms of the e-version, the electronic version. Exactly. But if you want the hard copy, you can obtain it through our bookstore, which is in the app. You can order and then we'll reach out to you throughout the country. Right. Any question?
Do you have the recorded past videos for CIT as well?
Oh, yes. This is the third. I think if you go in there, you get videos as far as 2022. Yes. You get 2022 up to date. So if you register for CIT now, I can tell you, just be a man on the move. That's the level of seriousness I always imbibe in my students. Be a man on the move. Go into the app, pick the previous video and start your fireworks. So if you are CIT student registering now, don't waste time. Just go there, pick the video and start your tuition. By the time the lectures begin, you are already on top. Questions you'll be asking will help the lecturer know that you understand what you're asking. Are we together? So if you register for CIT now, videos are there for almost about 3 days in the app now. You can use it, start preparation even before the lecture starts. Are we clear? The aim of the lecture is to revise the discussions to be relevant to the diet. And that is what the main tuition is about, making the diet or the issues relevant for the current diet. Because some issues will not be tested in the diet. The lecturer must indicate to you that, you know what, read this, read that, and all of that. But the videos are already there. Or for all the cities, they are there now. So if you register, you pick it up, you watch, prepare yourself, even before the start of the tuition at the end of March. Are we clear? So that is it. Any other question?
That's it for this evening. Sir.
Okay, that's it. So I'm very happy this session has come to a good end. And I'm so glad that you've all been able to participate in this stakeholder meeting. And I'm sure our expectations have been met. And that is what we always aim to do. If there's any question, you can always reach me. My number is very popular, 0555-213-559. You can always reach me on WhatsApp. I will surely respond to you directly. Or you can reach out to our secretary, Mike, if you can flip to the section where the secretary's number is so that I can mention it out to them. You can also reach out to our secretary, our executive secretary's number. If you can flip to the next slide. I don't think her number is here. Let me see. If you can go to the tuition program, I'm sure her number should be here. So all these numbers are numbers that you can reach out to the team. Exactly. If you go down, you can see all of them. The first one is the secretary's number, and all the other lines are for our technical team. If you look at the hotlines there, the first one is the secretary's number. All the other numbers are the support team. So you can call any of them at any time, and they will help you to register on our programs. And any needed support, they are ready to do that for you. Right. So if there's no question, I think we are good to go. Thank you all for joining in this stakeholder interaction. And Aspire will always serve you better, exactly, for you to professionally qualify. Any question? If not, thank you all and have a good evening. Bye.